what's up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Quick Draw, it's about time we Warframe and chilled when we take a look at the Sibear. Now the Sibear is the first of its kind, being the only cold-based melee weapon currently in game. In addition, it features some stunning visual effects featuring an eruption of ice crystals when you slam it in to the ground, while charge attacks cause the hammer's head to grow, ice spikes temporarily. Now while all that is well and good, I think the real question on our minds is whether this is another ranking bank, or will the Sibear actually be effective at putting your enemies on ice? Now, you can pick up the Sibear's blueprint in the market for only 15,000 credits, but do be aware that this will cost you a pre-built Magistrar and a good chunk of Cryotic. Also note that this does take Mastery Rank 6 to craft. However, for those of you who don't have a Magistrar lingering around your inventory, you can always pick this up pre-built along with a weapon slot and a catalyst for 165 plat. Now, the Sibear's primary damage type is cold, with a small splash of cold and a little sprinkling of cold, which makes for a very interesting damage spread. Now, cold on its own does enjoy bonuses against alloy armor and shielding, but does have a few issues against the infested. Cold is actually my preferred damage type to splash on top of corrosive when hitting the void without 4 corrosive projections, as the combination takes advantage of practically every enemy unit in the void. In addition, it can be combined to create viral, which is very popular in the void when you do have 4 corrosive projections, magnetic, which is great against shielding, as well as blast, which does give some bonuses against fossilized infested targets. So with all of the options out there, be sure to equip the appropriate elemental combos in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. Now, straight out of the gate, a lot of people are going to wonder how this compares to the current top tier hammer, the ever so popular Jack Attack. To be honest with you, their stats are nearly identical, with the only real differences between them being the Jack Attack's IPS based damage spread and its superior status chance, and you know how little I give a crap about that. Those two factors aside, the rest of their statistics match up perfectly, with a decent crit chance and crit multiplier that comfortably qualifies for a body count and blood rush build, a respectable attack speed for a heavy weapon, and a whopping base damage of 130 that ties as the second highest base damage for a melee weapon currently in game. Now, because the two are so similar, I decided to do a bit of a playtest, and what it really all boiled down to is whether you could take advantage of an enemy's elemental weakness or not. Trials against enemies in the void were fairly conclusive with the exact same builds. If you're not running with 4 corrosive projections, the Jack Attack rocking corrosive will outdamage the Sibear with corrosive. However, if you strip your enemies down, the Sibear will come out on top, taking advantage of many enemy units and their weakness towards viral damage. However, if you're not a stickler for crunching numbers, it'll really all boil down to whether you prefer playing with the kitty or enjoy giving them the spike. Now, speaking of options, can we talk? So the cool thing about the Sibear is the fact that we get to mix things up a bit. While I am a big fan of the Jack Attack, the fact is sometimes you need a change of pace. However, if you're looking for a hammer, the Jack Attack was pretty much it, with no other real contenders in this particular weapon category. You'd have to take a pretty big hit in stats to use anything different. Legitimately, it was like watching the same porn over and over and over again, with the only other options being watching 2 people you find absolutely disgusting looking, or something revolving around scat. Neither of them are something you'd really want to watch, nor will get the job done. So, it's back to the same scene with the same porn stars in the same position. Sure, it'll get you off, but there isn't necessarily any joy in it. It's basically just rinse and repeat. And that's why it's so good to have the Sibear. Well, the Jack Attack isn't going anywhere. At least now you know what snowballing looks like. Now that I've got that visual in your head, let's get back to the Quick Draw. So all in all, I have to admit that I am a bit of a fan of this one. While the Jack Attack has some amazing particle effects, it's nice to have a bit of a change from time to time, especially something that isn't just a change for change's sake, but can actually perform optimally in higher tier missions with the right setup. Now this one does come with an innate D slot, which for some people can be a bit of a downside. However, I don't mind the D at all, since I always run Life Strike on my melee weapons anyway, because when you're diving in head first, sometimes you need a little something to keep you going when you're smashing away at them. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. If you haven't caught it, be sure to check out my previous playtesting videos that go into detail about physical damage mods as well as physical damage mods in the void. It'll give a little bit of insight on the Jack Attack versus Sibear subject. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned to watch me attempt to mix more terrible puns with dick jokes here at A Gay Guy Plays. And for those of you at home wondering, this is a no thank you very much. And this is a yes please, I will have another.